Hi, in today's video we're going to geocode some addresses from a CSV file using Google Earth Pro on the desktop. So I have a file here called input.csv, and I can use the CSV cut command with the -n option and the file to print out the columns in the CSV file. And you'll see we have name, description and address. What I'll do is just have a look at the address format. What I can do is pull out the address column, which was the third column from that file, and pipe it into CSV look, which will display all the addresses in the format they're in. So what we have is street, city, postcode and country. So that's all in one column. So the reason that that's important is because that's some information we'll need to provide to Google Earth when we convert the file. So what we'll do is open up Google Earth, and we'll come across to the File menu and select Import, and then select the CSV file containing the name, description and addresses. So on this first little pop-up window, what it's asking is what's the delimiter in the file, and in this case it's a comma. And what it's doing is it's actually giving you a preview of the data set at the bottom of the window. So we can click the next button here, and the next step is select the latitude and longitude fields, and by default it's looked at the file and it's discovered that it doesn't have longitude and latitude columns, but street addresses. So we want this ticked here. This dataset does not contain latitude and longitude information, but street addresses. And again, we can click the next button, and the next screen is asking how the addresses are formatted, and by default it's got selected this dataset contains one address field. So we've got one address column with the address in double quotes, so that's fine. And you can see the next option down here is select the address field, and it's automatically selected the correct column from the CSV file. We can click next here, and the final option is asking us what type of what each field is basically, and it's a string. So we can accept these defaults and click finish, and as you can see it's running batch geocode. But there's another step we need to do after this. Okay, it's giving us an error here, so we can just ignore that for this demo. And this is the important one here. Do you want to apply a style template to the features you ingested? So we need to click yes, and we'll say create a new template. And the things we need to do here is set the name field. So the name field is going to be the name next to the marker on the map. So what we need to do is select the name column, and you can see here it's showing you what's been selected. So this is going to be the name that appears next to the marker on the map. We can also select colors, icons and height, that sort of thing, but the only thing we really have to do is set the name field here. And then we click OK, and it's going to ask us to save this as a style template. So just click save here, and I've got one that already exists, so I'll just replace it. And what you'll see is that it will plot all the locations on the map. And if I click the button down here, you'll see what we have is all of the spaces with the name, description and address in the pop-up. So what we need to do now is actually save this these geo converted addresses into a KML file. So what we're going to do to save place as, we need to select the folder that it created for the CSV file here, right click and do save place as, and we're just going to select the type of file, and what we want to select is KML. A KMZ file is basically a KML file that has been zipped with a KMZ extension. So we just want the KML file because that's just a a text file that we will be able to open. We're going to save that to the desktop as input.kml. And now that's done, we can actually exit. You can save the places if you want to, but I'm just going to discard them. So what I'm going to do now is switch back to the desktop, and you'll see I have a input.kml file. So what I'm going to do is open that file and show you how it looks. So what we've got is just need to scroll down here, and what you'll see here is this is a XML formatted file, and what you'll basically see is the name, description and address. So those are each of the columns from the CSV file: the name, the description and the address. And we also have this new section down here, point, with coordinates, which are the latitude and longitude of the location. So what we've done is basically take a load of addresses and use Google Earth Pro on the desktop to convert those addresses into GPS coordinates and save them in a KML file. So what we can then do is actually convert this KML file back into a CSV file, and we will then have all of the coordinates as well as the address in a CSV file. And we can also upload this to something like My Maps or MapHub. So that's how you can basically convert a load of addresses into longitude and latitude using Google Earth Pro on the desktop.